Our Torah portion reading today is Numbers 25. And this falls right on the aftermath of Balaam's ordeal trying to curse the children of Israel. And I guess we can go ahead and just let the computer read Numbers 25 if we want to. And we can, go ahead.
Chapter 25. And Israel abode in Shechem, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods, and the people did eat and bowed down to their gods. And Israel joined himself unto Baal people, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, Take all the heads of the people, and hang them up before the Lord against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, Slay ye every one his men that were joined unto Baal people. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses, and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. And he went after the man of Israel into the tent, and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. And those that died in the plague were 24,000. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, hath turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy. Wherefore say, Behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace, and he shall have it, and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God, and made an atonement for the children of Israel. Now the name of the Israelite that was slain, even that was slain with a Midianitish woman, was Zimri the son of Salu, a prince of a chief house among the Simeonites. And the name of the Midianitish woman that was slain was Cosbi, the daughter of Zur. He was head over a people, and of a chief house in Gideon. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Vex the Midianites and smite them, for they vex you with their wiles, wherewith they have beguiled you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cosbi, the daughter of a prince of Midian, their sister, which was slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake.
Well, this portion starts following the plague called by the women of Moab. Basically, the children of Israel, right from the start, were not supposed to attack the Moab. We go to Deuteronomy 7, number 3. They disregarded that in this situation and went and partook with the children of Moab. Do not intermarry with them. You do not give the daughters to his sons, nor you do not take his daughters for your sons. For he turned your sons away from following me to serve other mighty ones. And the displeasure of Yahweh shall burn against you and promptly destroy you. Basically, that is exactly what happened. And Balaam knew how to tempt young men. Since when there's pretty little girls and young men been a problem forever. And Balaam capitalized upon that lust of the flesh, if you will, that is captivated in young men. And of course, the children of Israel, and I guess 24,000 fell there. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10:8. Those that died in the plague were 24,000. Neither should we commit whoring as some of them did in one day. 23,000 plagues. This is a direct reference to that event of the children of Israel going in to the Midianites. That, again, is a plague of this flesh. Phineas was rewarded for his zealousness there, and which always spoke of Phineas going. I'm going to give you a covenant of peace for what you have done. Now that's a pretty heavy duty covenant to have Yahweh's peace, but don't we also have this covenant of peace? Go to John 14:27. Yahweh has actually delivered to all of us through the Messiah this covenant that was given to him. When we come in through Yahshua the Messiah, John 14:27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. You heard it said that I'm going away and I am coming to you. If you did love me, you would have rejoiced that I said, I'm going to the Father, my Father's prayer. He left us that covenant of peace as he went to the Father and give us that covenant. There's a second covenant given here that is an everlasting priesthood covenant. He also gave Phineas this everlasting priesthood covenant. Up until this time, the priesthood of Levi was only the sons of Aaron. I don't know, a lot of people, again, don't realize that all the Levites were not priests. That for the most part, most of the Levites starting off in the fourth generation from Levi was the son of Aaron. Aaron and Moses were in the fourth generation from the patriarch Levi. Levi had 3 sons, which each had sons, and then those sons had sons. So in the fourth generation from Levi, we had, I think, 28 counterparts of families. Aaron just being one of those families with the priesthood. Others were just merely rank and file Levites that never offered upon the altar. All they did is carry the accoutrements of the temple. They never went into the temple, inside the building itself. They just merely serviced in the courtyard, and they never sacrificed on the altar. They prepared things for the altar, but never sacrificed. Now we have one of Aaron's grandsons, Eleazar's son, who actually becomes a priest, and all the priests at this point forward go through his family. So the priesthood continues to contract to be a smaller and smaller bunch of Levites. We have a situation that happens again in the time of David, when David was being exiled from one of his son's coups. The priesthood of Zadok stayed loyal to him. This was a time when his son Abinadab tried to cause a coup and kill his father. And Abinadab, the priest, was with his son in this coup. But the priest Zadok stayed loyal to David through this situation. At that point, Zadok, Not only did it come only through Aaron, and then only through Phineas. From that point on, it was only through Zadok. So of all the Levites that have come forward through all those years, now we have still again a very small portion of priests being Zadok. This is actually, if you go back and start to look at some of this in 1 Chronicles 6:50, it gives a genealogy. And basically, it gives a genealogy of the children of Israel and a lot of things. And that genealogy for Levi, Phineas is the only genealogy given. The rest of the Levites are totally left out of that genealogy. If we come forward to Zadok, we have Ezekiel 43. Let's go to Ezekiel 43:19. And this is supposedly the millennial temple or the third temple. I don't know if it will be built before the millennium or after. But in this temple here that's coming, and you shall give a young bull for a sin offering to the priests, the Levites, who are of the seed of Zadok, that's the study there, to approach unto me, declares the Master Yahweh. So in Ezekiel's temple, when we give the sin offering, it's going to be Zadok. We can skip on down to 44:15. But the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, who guarded the duty of my set-apart place when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall draw near to me and serve me, and they shall stand before me to bring to me the fat and the blood, declares the Master Yahweh. In that day, in Ezekiel's temple, the one that's coming, Zadok's going to officiate at that altar. And only Zadok. The rest of the Levites are going to be out the door. Yahweh selects a very small people to give this covenant. I don't know if y'all follow much on covenants, but the word covenant, brit, means to cut. Basically, what would happen is they would take an animal and they would cut it into half, and the parties would walk between the cut pieces of the animal. And they would declare that if we break this covenant, whatever we do, which party breaks it, that would happen to them. They would be cut asunder, cut in two. You get into the root words of this, and this means fat or fatted calf, all those things that mean the son of Zadok. But we have a situation where Abraham was making a covenant with Yahweh. And they took the cattle, cut it all in half, but Abraham fell asleep, and only the pictures of Yahweh went between the pieces. In other words, that was an unconditional covenant where Abraham did not actually go through the pieces. And we have unconditional, if you will, covenants of that nature that Yahweh makes. He makes these covenants with various of us. That was actually in Genesis 15:9, where Abraham makes this covenant, or Yahweh makes this covenant with Abraham. We also have a covenant that was made with Noah that was unconditional. Basically a promise type covenant where only Yahweh binds himself. He doesn't bind us in those covenants. Only Yahweh binds himself in those covenants. But the covenant that is really depends on us comes to us from Exodus 24. Now let's go to Exodus 24. And verse 8. And Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, see the blood of the covenant which I always made with you concerning these words. He killed the animal, and he sprinkled the people with the blood of this covenant. This covenant just follows, if you will, Exodus 19 and 20, where the 10 Commandments were given. They were still at the mountain. And Moses took and sprinkled the blood of the covenant on the people. And Moses went up also with Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw Elohim and under his feet like a paved sapphire stone, and like the heaven of brightness. And he did not stretch out his hand against the chiefs of the children of Israel. And they saw Elohim, and they ate and they drank. And Yahweh said to Moses, come up to me on the mountain, and be there with me. I will give you the tablets of stone and the Torah, the commandments that I have written to teach you. And Moses arose with his descendant, Joshua, and Moses went up the mountain with Elohim. And he said to the elders, look for us and wait for us until we come back to you. See, Aaron and Hur are with you. However, as this matter, whoever has matters, let him go to them. And Moses went up into the mountain, into the cloud, covered the mountain. And the esteem of Yahweh dwelt on the mountain of Sinai. The cloud covered it for 6 days. And on the 7th day, he called Moses out of the midst of the cloud. And he appeared to the esteem of Yahweh like a consuming fire off the mountain before the eyes of the children of Israel. Moses went up in the midst of the cloud and went up into the mountain. And it came to be that Moses was on the mountain for 40 days. So he actually cut this covenant before he went up on the mountain to get the tablets with the people, and sprinkle the blood upon them. And that is the covenant that we enter into, believe it or not. That by being the children of Israel, we become part of the commonwealth of Israel and part of the covenants of Israel. And this goes on to talk about keeping the commandments. If you will not listen to me and do all these commandments, statutes, that you're going to be in trouble. Bad things going to happen to us. Anyway, Yahweh holds us accountable for these covenants. Now, Phineas had this covenant given to him. I want to go back to talk more a little bit about this covenant of peace. We'll go to Isaiah 9:6. For a child shall be born unto us, a son shall be given unto us, and his rule is on his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonder, Counselor, Strong El, Father of and the Prince of Peace. He is the Prince of Peace. That is one of his names. And he's the Prince that brings us this covenant of peace. Actually, we all not only enter, this isn't the covenant of promise here, not the covenant of the blood, but the covenant of the blood. Now, the way we get into this covenant right here is through being part of Israel and coming to the Shiach through Israel. In other words, it's not given to us by promise the way it was given to Phineas. It's given to us through Messiah. Once we come in through Messiah, we have this covenant. Also, I believe that we are given this everlasting priesthood. We become part of the Melchizedek priesthood in this era. And that priest, Jordan talked about that priesthood here a few weeks ago, I think, where we enter in, we actually become 1 Peter. But when you go back to Exodus 9, or Exodus 19, where it says, you shall be a nation of priests. He's actually telling them that he actually wanted the whole nation to be a nation of priests. And that is in future tense. When we move forward to 1 Peter, we go to 1 Peter and read that if we want to. Let's go to 1 Peter, is it 2? 2:9. 1 Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a set apart nation, a people for a possession, that you should proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. who once were not a people, but now the people of Elohim, who have not obtained compassion, but now who had not obtained compassion, but now have obtained compassion. Beloved ones, I appeal to you as sojourners and pilgrims to abstain from fleshly love, which battle against your life. That's exactly what happened to the children of Israel. The fleshly love battle against their life. Because they let themselves be tempted, led away in that manner. And they got having your behavior among the Gentiles good, so that when they speak against you as evildoers, let them, by observing your good works, esteem Elohim in the day of visitation. We are, that right there is in the present tense. He's saying, not like he did in Exodus 19, the future tense. He's saying in present tense, you are priests. And I'm going to go to Revelation 1:5. I bring my Bible over here. Okay, and 1:5. And from Yahshua the Messiah, the trustworthy witness, the firstborn from the dead, the ruler of the sovereigns of the earth. That means he's going to. Today, I don't think they follow him. To him who loved us, washed us from our sins in his own blood, and has made us sovereigns and priests to his Elohim and the Father, to his esteem, rule forever and ever. Amen. What has he made us? Now, this is past tense. Has made. So if we're going to fall into this category, not only was it prophesied there that you're going to be, or that was his desire for the nation, to make them priests. But in Peter, it says under Messiah, you are a priest. And here in Revelation, in past tense, it says you have been made. Brethren, we need to pick up this priesthood and hopefully have peace within ourselves with Yahweh. The glory of praising for his praise and not for the praise of men. And to come forward and serve. Let's look at Isaiah 54:10. For though the mountains be removed and the hills be shaken, my kindness is not removed from you, nor is my covenant be shaken, saith Yahweh, who has compassion on you. He's saying it doesn't matter what happens in this earth, what happens in you. This covenant that he's going to give you is yours forever as long as you are in him and you're with him. He has that peace. That inner peace that is beyond understanding. And a lot of the martyrs had that right up to the second of their martyrdom. They stood there with that peace to stand before sovereign kings, knowing their life was going to die. Do we have that peace? Do we have that zeal? Do we have that priesthood that is beyond understanding to stand there in that situation, facing that kind of a approach, or to be sent before a sovereign knowing that your life is on the line? I mean, a lot of times in the Old Testament, let me back up here. In the Old Testament, there was not such a thing as passive, let's say, a passive disagreement. They didn't disagree passively. You know, for a lot of times, it's kind of like the old guy getting thrown out of the saloon doors. You know, hitting the ground. When they disagreed, they picked up stones. I mean, how many times? Twice? Wasn't Paul left for dead? Was it once or twice? He was left for dead. In other words, when they disagreed with you, to shake the dust off your feet has a new meaning. You'll always in a bad way when they get riled up at you. It's not like today. Today we have a whole lot of passive resistance or passive disagreement, and it wasn't that way in those days. So a lot of these guys stood with actually putting their life on the line to present their position to Yahweh, to the people. And they had to have that covenant of peace, and they had to believe in that priesthood, and they had to have it. They had to have it. Otherwise, they couldn't do it. You can't do it. You can't bring yourself up to that level. Fake it. You have to have that covenant of peace. Anyway, Phineas takes, and we can go back there to Phineas here in verse 10, 11, 12. I think that was 12, 13, 12, 13, 25.
25, 11.
25, well, and 12. I'm giving you my covenant of peace, and it shall be to him and to his seed after him the covenant of everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous and ardent for Elohim and made atonement for the children of Israel. Now, this atonement that he made atonement for them by whacking a guy.
And a girl.
I mean, and a good time by two of them. Exactly. Now, that's not the way we look at making atonement for somebody, is it?
That's the way Moses got started out too.
Yeah.
Back to God.
I always loved it. See, Simeon and Levi were instruments of cruelty. That's what it says when it talks about their genealogy. It says, if you want to read what actually Abraham, it was the father said about him at the end of Genesis there, where Jacob was making his proclamation. He said, Simeon and Levi are instruments of cruelty, because they killed all the people in Shechem after Shechem's son raped their daughter, or their sister. They went and took vengeance on all the people. In other words, they were pretty people that would, not take kindly to, again, they took swords and kill everybody. Kill the whole city. Simeon was a little psychotic. And he actually got absorbed into Israel. His position was surrounded by Judah. If you look at the line, he was actually absorbed in Israel, and that was prophesied right there too, that he would be absorbed into Israel. And he actually kind of ceased to really be a tribe because of that. Levi turned that proclivity to take your head off into zeal for Yahweh right there at the mountain. Again, the golden calf, they come up there with their swords in their hand and went and killed a whole bunch of 3,000 of their brethren, didn't they? Just like Moses whacked the guy in the desert. This proclivity to be a little psychotic, they turned into zeal for Yahweh. And this zeal kind of carries away. I want to go to Deuteronomy 13:5. I want to run through some things here in Deuteronomy about the Levites and them. I don't know if you call it making atonement for the children of Israel. The word atonement or kippur means to cover. And they're kind of the covering for the children of Israel in a lot of settings. So in Deuteronomy 13:5, it says, and the prophet, that dreamer of dreams, is put to death because he has spoken apostasy against Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, and redeemed you from the house of bondage, and makes you stray from the way in which Yahweh your Elohim commanded you to walk. In other words, this is exactly what Balaam did. Thus you shall purge evil from your midst. Purge evil from your midst. The way you purge evil from your midst here to take care of the children of Israel is to whack the person. The King James says to put evil away from you. In other words, I'm putting the evil away from me, and the way I'm getting rid of that evil is, okay? Let's go to Deuteronomy 17:6. And at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall he that is to die be put to death. He will not be put to death by the mouth of 1 witness. The hand of the witnesses shall be first against him to put him to death, and the hands of all the people last. So you shall purge the evil from among you, or put the evil away from you. When any matter arises, which is too hard for you to be judged between blood and blood, between flea and flea, between stroke and stroke, matter of strife in your judgment, then you shall rise up and go to the place where Yahweh your Elohim chooses, and you shall come to the priest, the Levites, and to the judge who is in those days, and shall inquire, and they shall declare to you the words of right rulings. The judgments, the right rulings, and you shall do according to the word which I declare to you, in that place which Yahweh chooses, and you shall guard to do according to all that they instruct you. Do according to the Torah, in which they teach you, according to all the right rulings which they say to you. Do not turn to the right or left from the word which they declare. The man who acts arrogantly, so as not to listen to the priest who stands to serve before Yahweh your Elohim, to judge that man, or to judge before Yahweh, or to the judge, that man shall die. So you shall purge evil from Israel, or put, if you will, put the evil away from Israel. We continue to put Israel, or evil, away from Israel. And we're doing this by getting rid of the evil person. And the evil person that we're actually covering Israel in a way of peace, if you will, by getting rid of the evil. I want to look at a few more of these. Let's go to Deuteronomy 19:19. And then I'm going to turn right there. And you shall know, then you shall do to him as he thought. This is the evil witness. Let's go back to 18. And the judge shall diligently search to see if the witness is false. The witness who has falsely accused his brother, then you shall do to him as he thought to have done to his brother. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. In other words, get rid of the evil. When somebody is a false witness, well, we have this in our society, there's no consequences for somebody to lie on a witness stand or say and make accusation against somebody. That is absolutely just something that is done to discredit people, and what they choose to do is levy back against them. But he says here that they're going to search, and the person that's doing that will suffer the consequences, and if it would have been a death sentence, he gets it. So to keep evil away from it. I'm going to go now to the tabernacle, and regarding the tabernacle, I'm going to look at a couple of verses there about the Levi guarding the temple. In other words, go to Numbers 151. And this is Levi again. Remember, Levi was just a little bit on the off-balance side, on the flat knee, or take the head off. 151. And when the dwelling place is to go forward, the Levites take it down. And when the dwelling place is to be set up, the Levites set it up. And when the stranger who comes near is put to death. Now I wonder what he's talking about there as being a stranger. He's talking about the children of Israel that are not Levites. Being put to death. We're coming up there. Remember, we had just had the rebellion of Korah, and Korah's rebellion, and Korah's men coming up there, and Korah wanting to rebel and take over, and those that wanted, and Moses said, "Come on, get your censers, and let's let Yahweh choose who's going to come near unto him." Now, Korah was a Levite, but Korah comes near. And fire comes out from Yahweh and burns them up because he didn't want to come near it. In other words, they were the strangers that were coming nigh under the temple. I want to go to Numbers 3:10. And appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall guard their priesthood, and the stranger who comes near shall be put to death. So they guarded the tabernacle. I'm going to go to one more place here. Let's look at Numbers. Well, first of all, we're at 3:10. Let's go down to 38. 3:38. And those who were to camp before the dwelling place on the east before the tent of meeting were Moses and Aaron and his sons, guarding the duty of the set apart place and the duty of the children of Israel. But the stranger who comes near was to be put to death. And we can also go to Numbers 18:7. Yeah, Rick.
So, you're saying that, anybody but Levites is considered strangers, even though they are the children of Israel?
That's my position.
Even though they are the children of Israel, they're still strangers, you're considered them strangers.
I believe so. I believe that they are considered strangers of that avenue. I believe the protocol to come up to the temple,
Levites.
Levi,
And everybody else is strangers.
everybody else.
I like that, I like that.
You know, when we enter into the priesthood, we can draw nigh. And that's another reason we have to be in the priesthood, either Melchizedek or Aaron. Who wants to be in the Aaron priesthood? Because in that priesthood, like it said, there's no forgiveness for sin, or that, you know, like the New Testament says there's a better priesthood. You know, the old one's obsolete, ready to pass away. Why would you choose that priesthood when you can have this priesthood with the promises? And the promises we have are built on better promises.
Well, so that changes things, and when you look at things in as far as the prophets and stuff, when it talks about the strangers, and then in the New Testament, when he comes, he says, "I come for only the lost sheep of the house of Israel."
That's right.
Only. So that, and you know, we know he comes back to the strangers, and we want to think that because, you know, that we're part of that because we're strangers, but that kind of, that reverses the look at that. So we have to rethink, again, what the stranger is. I like that position.
In my position, when you come nigh to Yahweh, now the rest of the world doesn't really get to come nigh to it. They may serve in some capacity. But we have, like the children of Israel, it says, you know, all of Israel is holy. That's true. They're all out there and are holy. Anyone that enters into Israel is in a holy state. When the young rich ruler came before the Messiah, he said, "How do I enter into life?" He said, "Keep the commandments." If that's all you're looking for, is just to enter into life, keep the commandments. You're falling out away from, I think, the inner chamber where you get to come nigh to Yahweh, which is priesthood. The only way you can get up there to that temple and get inside the courtyard is to be a priest. There's no other way in there. You're not a priest, you're not going inside the gate. Okay, the only time, 10 times during the year, the people that were not priests got to go on the courtyard of the temple was when they took their offering of the over of barley. And at the Feast of Tabernacles on the 7th day during the Hosanna, they took their luau up to the altar. That's the only 2 times in a year that a person that was not a priest was on the court of the priest. Outside of that, they didn't touch the altar. They didn't touch any of the accoutrements. But I believe that they would have been whacked. I believe there, you know, in the old, Yahweh tends to stay his hand as we move forward. And in the very beginning, it says, "Anybody that touches the altar shall be holy." Now that doesn't mean if I go grab hold of the altar, all of a sudden I'm holy. That means you better be holy before you touch it. Just like, you know, just like Adab and Abihu found out that you don't just do what you want to before Yahweh's things. But we find as it moves on, that wanes. So as we move on, I don't know why Yahweh didn't kill the people anymore, but it happened later on where he didn't kill the people, just like when, who was it that lied to the Holy Spirit there in Acts? Yeah, okay, now people lie to the Holy Spirit all the time, nothing happens. Okay, Yahweh sets an example showing how serious he is about this, and then he wanes. He gives a prophecy in Scripture in one place. He says, Israel will not be corrected. In other words, the correction of Israel is of no use because he's done so many things to them, and they wouldn't turn. They continue to be evil. So he says he's going to cease to correct them. In other words, he turned from them and actually divorced them and got rid of them, so he weren't corrected anymore. So if Yahweh has turned so far from us that we don't receive correction anymore, we're not His. And I think that's a lot of what's happening in this world. Yahweh isn't dealing with the rest of the world. He's only dealing with those that want to be His. And okay, now if you're going to go into His house, those that get to go in His house, are we planning on being part of His household? The picture of the priesthood is only Levi, not just Levi, sons of Aaron, going down, turning into Phineas, going down just into Zadok, that get to go inside that building. You can study in Numbers 3, where it talks about the children of Israel couldn't even go in and watch the temple accoutrements to be covered. They couldn't look at them. They never got to see those temple instruments. These are Levites. Only Aaron's sons. It says when Eleazar finishes covering, then the Levites come and pick it up and carry it, and they shall not look upon it, lest they die. That's what it says. You can go to Numbers 3 and look at that and go on. I get my Bible. Take me just a second to find it. Gotta get about 5 up. I'm sorry, it's going to be in Numbers 4. Numbers 4:15. 4:15. When Aaron and the sons had finished covering the set-apart objects and all the furnishings of the set-apart place, at the breaking of the camp, and the sons of Kohath shall come and lift him up, and let him not touch that which is set apart, lest they die. These matters are to be a burden to the sons of Kohath and the 10 Levites. Okay, they never got to touch them. They just picked up the pole and carried it. And let's go down to 19. But do this to them, that they shall live and not die. When they approach the most holy set-apart object, Aaron and his sons shall go in and appoint each of them to his service and to the burden. They are not, however, to go in to watch while the set-apart objects are being covered, lest they die. They could not even hold those up. They never got to see them. These are Levites that are not the sons of Aaron. All they did is pick them up and carry them. They never went inside that building into the first chamber because they never got to see the object. Only Aaron's children went inside that building. What does that mean for us that we are able, through the blood of Messiah, to go beyond the veil into the most holy of all, to stand before Yahweh? Are you realizing what He did for us? And how select and precious that is. It's unbelievable. We have that covenant place with God that everlasting.
And look how laborsome it is too. I mean, just look all the labor the priest had to go through, even the secondary. You know, how it's like to carry the tabernacle around your back. I mean, from place to place. I mean, that's what it's a priesthood of labor or work. And in our priesthood, it's not that way anymore. We don't have no labor, no work anymore. It's been done for us.
But we do, in a way, have to labor, because if we are, say, the priesthood, we have all these strangers, but we want to beckon these people. So are we not constantly to be looking inside ourselves to make ourselves better at serving Elohim, constantly striving to draw closer to the Holy of Holies? I mean, I think it does become laborsome if you're really trying, to get there. If you're really searching, you're inside of yourself to be closer, to be a high priest.
there's work and there's labor, and what the labor I was talking about is the priesthood, where
Like-
they physically had to carry,
Yeah.
to do the service was labor, so, you know, we have a work to still do.
Question is, do you think that, clarify this for me, do you think that we are, at this point, are allowed into the Holy of Holies, or is that what our Messiah does for us, intercede in the Holy of Holies?
It is my conjecture that through the blood of Messiah, I can actually appear before the Father.
Then why would you need the Messiah as the intercessory? I mean, I'm playing both sides of this, I don't know.
That is the intercessor. See, if I appear before the Father without the Messiah blood, I'm dead.
You're saying with him then.
Yeah, with it, that's the only way I can get in there. Again, in my opinion, we are given, if you will, the pass to get in to appear before the Father. In other words, I have that, and that's the Messiah's blood. The Messiah's blood, or his sacrifice, takes me in there. Now that I can get in there and actually appear before the Father, here's what I think is so amiss when we pray that we actually have that audience with the Father, and we get to give me $100, give me $50, give me a new house, a new car, give me, it's like if the stupidity of that is beyond stupidity. That we do that when we go for Father. I am kneeling down before Him, guilty with the death penalty hanging upon my head, and I get to come before Him, and I'm exonerated, and I jump up and say, Judge, give me $100. Give me a new house, new car, new automobile. Are we grateful? Do we show any gratitude? Do we realize who we are and who we're before? We do not, just like the worship service, do we realize that we are coming and worshiping before the sovereign of all the universe? We would have more honor of standing before Obama than we do than come before the ruler of all the universe. At least we can take a bath, put on some new clothes, it's going to come and stand before Obama. But we don't hold Yahweh in that regard. We have lessened who He is and what He is. And are we priests? Do we serve Him? And the priesthood serve Him. And that was all of the service of the priesthood and everything. Like Rick said, how laborious that was, the ritual. But it was to teach us something. In the world, and the world's churches will tell you that you don't need the Old Testament at all. And they'll positively 100% tell you if there's any book in the Old Testament you don't need, it's Leviticus, which teaches you how to be a priest. Of all the books that they have totally ignored, that is the one. They're like, forget it, hang it up, you don't need it. But the service, to serve Yahweh is an honor that is beyond honor to come and serve Him, to be able to serve Him. And we're given that.
Through the work of the Messiah, we no longer have the accuser of the brother that's in heaven accusing us. And, when we come before the Father, the Messiah says, hey, I took care of this, I died for this guy. I atoned for this guy. And that's how we come before Him. The accuser brother is now cast down. Harsh, and that's why we come before Him. But we got, we come before Him, we got somebody, our adversary, not an adversary, but somebody's on our side saying, look, I've paid for this guy's sins. I've covered him.
I just never was always taught that He went in as the priest then, the Messiah, as your intercessory, that we were not, and I never could quite balance that we were not allowed to approach the Holy of Holies, except He would go in with your petition, whatever, prayer, whatever. So I never could fit it, but if it's the pattern after the priesthood, see, only the top guy got to go in, see.
Yeah,
So-
only Aaron.
So I don't know.
Well, the high priest.
Yeah.
High priest.
Yeah.
Only the high priest got to go in. I know they don't want you.
So that's what I'm saying. I've always bounced that one back and forth and still can't.
Well, go back to Revelation 1:5 and bring that up, and then in a King James Plus format or something.
Revelations
1:5.
4 or 5?
1. Chapter 1, and verse 5. Actually, I think it's in verse 6. But,
KJV.
yeah. There you go. And I want to bring up, and I'll look the word priest there in Revelation 1:6. Bring up the Psalms for that. One six. There you go. Literally or figuratively, high priest. He has actually made us into a category where we come underneath that high priesthood, and we actually get to go in. Just like I said, there's the blood of Messiah that gets you in there. You can't just go in there. It actually, without the blood of Messiah, you don't have the desire to go in there. It's Messiah that actually gives us the heart. Remember the children of Israel were there. They didn't want to approach Yahweh. Don't wait to talk to me. I don't want to hear it. You know, they didn't actually desire to come up to Yahweh. Only Moses and Joshua went up that mountain. And Joshua stopped halfway. And Moses went all the way to the house, the forbidding mountain up to the fire and the smoke. And Moses even said, I quake. You know, to go toward Yahweh, you've got to have that heart to go towards Him. And that is a big deal part of this. That He gives us that heart and that pursuit to.
I can see that now when you're seeing that, but because the high priest, when he went in, he had to take the blood with him.
Only with the blood.
Yeah.
Not only with the blood, but also with the incense. He had to have the incense and the blood. And he had to have.
If we go now, we take our blood sacrifice, our Messiah.
Absolutely. And the Messiah entered in first. He entered in first to pave the way for us. But now we actually have access to that heavenly tabernacle. I think that's the way it reads. That through Messiah, we're given access to that heavenly tabernacle.
It's a mercy seat, it's propitiation, I think is what it's, propitiation is what it's called, it's mercy seat, it's our covering,
Yes.
If we are able to approach Father in the Holy of Holies with the blood of Messiah, the world always asks Him for things and money. How do we approach Him in our prayer?
It's about praise Him and ask Him how you can serve Him. We made a covenant, or we're in covenant. And does Messiah take care of His servants? In other words, does He say, I'm going to take care of you? In other words, if I am His servant, He's going to take care of His servant. That is kind of a given. Now, once I am a owned object, again, at baptism, I give myself to Messiah. He owns me. I am no longer my own. In other words, my own desire gives way to His desire. So at baptism, I fall into a category of whatever He asked of me to martyrdom or whatever. Whatever I have to bear on this earth, in whatever infirmity, whatever He puts upon me, whether He sets me in the gutter or He puts me in a mansion, is not my choice, it's His. The only thing I have to do is to serve Him no matter where He places me because He owns me. So my duty is merely service. He is, if I serve Him correctly, going to reward me someday with the rewards.
And Pam, I also think we need to, us especially, we need to come before Him with more reverence. And sometimes I just, and so I tell Him I'm so grateful that I'm not dead for my sins. That, I should have been struck a gazillion times. But humbling yourself and having that reverence for Him. And and then asking, praising Him, thanking Him, and how can I serve you? And when I do ask for something, I always say, if it's your will, whatever your will is, and I trust you whatever that is, and, but I just think many people have lost that reverence. And it's very humbling that we are all in this position, you know. I know better than anybody else, why me? But yet he's brought me here, and he's brought me to the truth, and you know, we should be shaking in our boots before we come before him.
Rick?
Oh, you know, we'll talk about, you talk about how the kingdom of heaven is supposed to take care of us. You know, the word says we're his ambassadors. You know, and it's like today, if you're an ambassador, your host country takes care of you forever, all your needs and all your protection. It actually protects you also. And so that to understand if you're an ambassador, if you're from the kingdom, that kingdom is going to take care of you. You don't have to ask for that stuff. And Pam, what I do, you know, and what you can do, you know, it's hard to get down and pray when you're giving the offering of that Thanksgiving. You know, if you go to the Psalms, there's a lot of Psalms of Thanksgiving. And just read the Psalms. You know, if you cut out a loss of what to say, what to do, just go through the Psalms of Thanksgiving. You know, you give him praise and glory. That's something I do.
Right.
You may have some verses here that will help Marcia. It's Hebrews 10, starting with verse 19. So, brothers, having boldness to enter into the set apart place by the blood of Yahshua, by the living way which he instituted for us through the veil, that is his flesh, and having a high priest over the house of Elohim, let us draw near with a true heart and completeness of belief, having our hearts sprinkled from a wicked conscience and our bodies washed with clean water.
Yeah. There you go. The period, yeah. Only the period really gets the period for him. He doesn't, seriously put it on this. Anyone else?
Well, in the temple, you know, you have all these jobs and these things that they just ran like clockwork. You know, people they saw where their service was, they knew where they should be, and they did those things to lift up the temple, to make the people run, to make, you know, and just the same as we are a part of that body, that's our job. You know, you find a place and you work and you lift somebody up. And after you lift them up, they lift somebody else up. You know, it's about, I think this is a really awesome teaching because I think it gives us a chance to examine ourselves and where we fit into the body, where we offer our praise, how we offer what Elohim's given us. And we talked about it even maybe a couple Friday nights ago about when do we decide that we're going to place ourselves in a position to serve Elohim and to do it without grumbling and in a true heart and offer that praise with exuberance and excitement because you are a part of something amazing, you know, and it's overwhelming, but it's exciting and beautiful all at the same time.
Come on in with this concept here. If this is a temple, and the stranger, or that old man that I put to death, because when he comes nigh, I gotta kill him, right? I gotta put him to death.
Yeah.
You're priest.
I'm a priest. I have to put him back down when he comes nigh. So that happens. I become a new and living thing to Yahweh. Let's go to Romans 12 and verse 1. And basically, we are that temple. We put to death that old man, atone for our own sins by putting him away. So if Yahweh says, turn from sin, and I will draw nigh to thee. And we must draw unto Yahweh, not take sin away from us. And being zealous for thee. Romans 12. I call upon you, therefore, brothers, through the compassion of Elohim, present your bodies a living sacrifice, set apart, well pleasing to Elohim, your reasonable worship. That's called faithfulness. So, you ever reckon to Yahweh, Aish Maraka? Yeah, Yahweh, Benabadaka, Benaka, Messiah, Yahweh, Benabadaka. Be your saint. Shalom. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious